Okay, we have 100 voters, and we're trying to figure out what was the number of voters who responded favorable for both. Favorable for both. So yes for both. Okay, clue 1. Clue 1 says the number of voters who did not respond favorable for either candidate was 40. All right, let's do another matrix. Let's do a submatrix to the one above. And let's go across the top and let that be favors M. And then my rows will be favors N. And it's going to be yes, no, or yes, no. Okay, so from the top matrix, we know that 40 people favored M. So favored M would be 40. And favored N would be 30. Favored N, yes, that would be 30 over here. Okay, now what does clue 1 say? Clue 1 says the number of voters who did not respond favorable for either candidate was 40. So that's no and no. And no would be this spot right here. And that would be 40. Now we know there was 100 candidates. And so that means this number has to be 70. I'm kind of back substituting. Once again, what am I trying to find? The number of voters who did not respond favorable for either candidate. So, no, I'm trying to figure out what was the number of voters who responded favorable for both. So that would be this spot here. Favorable for both would be yes and yes. And you can see now how you could just back substitute. Clue 1's going to work because we know this bottom row has to sum to 70. That means that has to be 30. And this first column has to sum to 40, so that has to be 10. So you can stop right there. So clue 1 works. Clue 2 talks about what? The number of voters who responded unfavorable for both candidates was 10. Well, we don't want to do another box like this, another matrix based on unfav, because in the problem we're trying to figure out what was the number of voters who responded favorable for both. So let's go back to the original matrix. And what have I got here? Number of voters who responded unfavorably for both candidates was 10. So somewhere in here, you've got 10. But then you've also got another 10 randomly up here somewhere going on. And in the 35, you got a 25 running around somewhere. So you got too many possibilities to try to figure out. So clue 2 does not work. Your answer is A.